Hello, welcome to the Ghana Agenda. My name is Alfred Amuzu, and today we have a packed show for you. Today we are talking about two very important issues. The first one being the proposed registration that the Electoral Commission of Ghana is planning to undertake. There's currently a bill that is about to be discussed by Parliament, and I think it's titled the Public Elections Regulations. Let me just check on that quickly. But anyway, so that bill is in Parliament, getting ready to be discussed. It's called the Public Elections Regulations of 2021, voter registration. And what this bill is saying is that the Electoral Commission is trying to have a continual registration process. What that means is that at any day that a person, you, your brother, whoever, turns 18, that they can go to the districts and register themselves to vote. So the electoral registration or registrations would be open continuously. It wouldn't be something that would be done periodically anymore. That's one of the things that has been proposed. But also, the same bill is asking for creating two sets of registers, and it's saying that even the registration itself, that if you turn 18, that you can go to the district and registers, that you need a Ghana card in order to actually register. So those are the things we'll be talking about, in addition to the fact that the United States government, even in COVID, and while we are all kind of suffering from this war between Ukraine and Russia, is still able to create 560,000 jobs or so in July. And we are comparing that to Ghana and try to see, how is the Ghanaian government responding to the difficulties being felt by the people of Ghana? I'll take a quick break and bring my guest in. So we can start the conversation. If this is the first time you're watching, my name is Alfred Amuzu, and this is the Ghana Agenda. We are on every Saturday from 2 p.m. To 4 p.m. If you're in Ghana, that will be 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please tell a friend to tell a friend so they can join the show so we can have a great conversation. If you're hearing me, please show me a thumbs up or leave a message so we can read that out. We're reading your messages out. Let me see. Oh, somebody first says advertisement, MTN, Vodafone, blah, blah, blah. All right, that's Danasari. Danasari is trying to advertise his business, I'm sure. But we'll be right back. Let me go get my guest from the green room so we can start the conversation. Today, I'll be joined by Paul Disoso of NDC. It's the secretary of NDC in Massachusetts. We have also Efa Amaya, who is the deputy communication director of MPP in the USA. We also have Lifetime Legacy, who's just a member of NDC. We have Kojo DC. Kojo DC is the organizing secretary of NPP in the Washington, D.C. Metro. So we'll take a quick break. When we get back, I'll bring my guests so we can start the conversation. The two things we are talking about. We're talking about the new voter registration bill that is proposed and is about to be discussed in Parliament. And the second issue is the United States is able to create 560,000 jobs in July alone. Matter of fact, the prediction was that the US was going to go into a recession. And one of the indicators of a recession is if you have contraction, if you actually have negative job growth. In other words, if you lost jobs rather than create them. And this time around, the US beat all the expectations and created 560,000 jobs just in July. And this is at the same time, we are all kind of suffering from the rebound of, or we are still, have COVID that we are worried about. At the same time, that Ukraine and Russia are still fighting, and that is destabilizing several economies across the world. How is the US able to do this? We'll interrogate those questions, so we'll discuss that when we return. We'll be right back.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
Just one more pic, JJ, please.
Oh, Mama, really?
Smile. It's not every day my eldest son graduates.
I couldn't have done it without you.
All without Auntie Jane's generous support.
Here is to Auntie Jane's well-appreciated World Remit money transfers.
World Remit Corporation is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, as a foreign transmittal agency by the Massachusetts Division of Banks, number FT 1179663, and licensed by the Georgia Department of Banking and Finance, NMLS 1179663, Massachusetts Foreign Transmittal License, FT 1179663.
World Remit, a better way to send money. Download the app or visit worldremit.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you're watching us for the first time, please share the link so others can join. I'm currently looking at Lifetime Legacy, who's already in studio. Thanks for joining us, Lifetime Legacy. I'll bring him on very quickly. But please, if you're watching us for the first time, or even if you're just watching us and you're a fan of the show, please share the link so others may also benefit from the discussions. We've been off air for at least, I think, 4 weeks. I had the opportunity to do a quick dash to Ghana myself, and I'm back now. So the show is back to life, and God willing, be here every week to provide you with the best, nothing but the best of productions and discussions of political issues occurring in Ghana. Let me bring in Lifetime Legacy real quick so we can start the conversation. Welcome to the show, Lifetime Legacy. How are you today? Lifetime Legacy, I think we cannot hear you, so if you can take a look at the sound again. Well, while Lifetime Legacy is working on the sound, if you're just joining us today, we are talking about two things. We're talking about the proposal to actually have a continuous election registration process in place. So I call this a very good bad news, or a very bad good news, sort of. You can flip that around. So like I said, is back. So I call this a very good bad news. Why? Because of course, registering people or registering voters year round is a wonderful thing. We all want that. I want to see that situation where the electoral commission is open to register people or put people on the voter registration. This will help increase the numbers so that once you turn 18, you don't have to wait until sometime in the future when registrations are open for you to register, that you can just walk to your district and put your name on the voters register. That is a wonderful thing. But what is the bad aspect of this? The bad aspect of this is that all right, I'm hearing so many messages. So the bad aspect of this is that the electoral commissioner is saying that the only way that you get on the voters registration when you turn 18 is that you have to show your Ghana card. Okay, that is also a sound idea. I am for sharing Ghana card. I am for using Ghana card to do the registrations. But we have to get to a point where we have the Ghana card accessible to everybody. When we get to that point where perhaps maybe 80% of the population is registered, then we can make such a claim that, of course, majority of the population or significant portion of the population is registered or is or have the Ghana card. Therefore, we can then now go ahead and use the Ghana card for the registration. But here is the case where numbers that we are seeing with the Ghana card registrations are not quite there yet. But the Electoral Commission is saying that for you to get on the voters register, when they open it for a year-round registration, is that you have to have the Ghana card. So I will be asking my guests today, who are Lifetime Legacy, who's already here. I'm also waiting for Afa Amayao, the Deputy Communication Director of the MPP, to join. Kojo DC, who's the Organizing Secretary of MPP in the Washington DC area, also will be joining us. We have Paul Disosu of MPP NDC Massachusetts, who would be joining us, in addition to Dr. Atoko Medanso, who's our neutral, who is always giving us some very important perspectives devoid of entrenched politics. So let me welcome again my first guest, Lifetime Legacy. Lifetime Legacy, I hope your microphone and everything is set now and you are ready to engage.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfect. Long time no see, bro. You are looking better and better every day. They say you are getting the E-Levy money, so you have to show me the secrets, man, however you are doing it. Anyway, welcome to the show, Lifetime Legacy.
Thank you so much, Alfred.
It's been a while.
I was in Chicago to mourn with my senior brother, Steve.
Yes, sir.
When I was there, I got the information that you were out of town.
Yeah, I was out of town briefly, yes.
And the next time I saw your image was when you visited the famous Ketapot. So welcome back.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I was in Ghana briefly. It was a good trip. It would have been better, but of course, the system is not very favorable to the average person over there. So as you get in, we all as bisque in that unfavorability or the conditions that people are going through. So yes, I was in Ghana and I definitely enjoyed my people there. And some of them actually, say it again.
You enjoyed the Bobby Toddy and the work plan.
Enjoyed the Bobby Toddy and the work plan, and I got to meet some of the guys too. So I know my people in the coffee shop in Aflau who are watching me, and so let me give a shout out to Seth Abelia for all the receptions that they gave me, and all the members of the coffee shop really. So there's a group in Aflau called the Coffee Shop. This is where sort of like a political think tank. In this group, really, there's MPP, NDC, and after joining, they sit down and strategize for how the constituency will be managed. So I'm grateful to meet them, and I'm sure some of them are watching today. So let me take the opportunity to give a shout out to them, and also to my family and all the people who actually took care of me while I was in Ghana. I actually enjoyed the trip, and yes, I have a lot of things to share with you guys as the days go, but I'll stop it there, and then let me get your introductory words, and also welcome Kojo DC to the show. Kojo DC, how are you?
I'm good, my brother. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, when you get up,
came back.
Yes. Thank you so much. When you get opportunity, show us your face, because some ladies watching would like to see the gentleman known as Kojo DC from communicating on behalf of the MPP from the DC area. Also, let me bring onto the show my brother Paul Disosu. Paul Disosu, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alfred, and I'm honored to be here this afternoon.
Thank you. I miss you all, Paul, and thanks for joining, taking the time. When you get a chance, just show us your face so people can see the face behind the fireworks. I think DC was saying something. DC, what were you saying? All right, so let's start. Let's start the show. Let's get some introductory words. The two topics we table for discussions are one, the United States is able to create 760,000 jobs within just the month of July alone. A month before that, they did about 400,000. So basically, the U.S. is continuing to grow its economy. People are even saying that the economy is being overheated at this point, and that the Fed is contemplating, raising the inflation, raising the interest rates at the next board of governors of the, meeting that they usually hold to determine whether the rates go up, etc., that they might even have about 750 basis points on the table, which means there should be about some 75 0.75% increase in the interest rate. Hopefully not, but considering the fact that the employment numbers keep going up, chances are that it would spike the inflation, and when inflation go up, one way to control it is to increase interest rate so we can siphon the excess cash from the system. So we are looking at that, and we see that the United States is actively handling the type of the sort of economic mess that the whole world is into, mostly because of COVID and of course the Russian war. What is Ghana doing about its economy? How is Ghana actively managing its economy? Is one of the things I want us to talk about today. And the second thing is that, which is the first thing we will really talk about, is the Electoral Commissioner decided to actually do a very good thing, which is open the registrations for or voter registrations year round. So you can actually go onto the register anytime within the year, go register, etc. But they are saying that they need a Ghana card for you to actually put your name on the register when you turn 18, that you do need a Ghana card. Or if you're not registered and you want to now take the opportunity to do it now, you need a Ghana card. Is this feasible? Is the question I asked. Let me start with you, Lifetime Legacy. Any preliminary comment on that, or what is your position as far as this registration regime thing is concerned?
Thank you, Alfred. Thank you once again for having me on the platform. I'm glad to be here once again to meet my friends. What do you call it? I was privileged to have met Dr. Ato and my brother Kakape.
Now, do you know the difference between the two Dr. Atos?
Yeah, in fact, I met Dr. Ato Neutral, right. not Dr. Ato MPP.
Okay,
and,
okay.
The reception was so good, and I would like to use this medium once again to thank them that for the friendship, the brotherliness we showed to each other when we met at Chicago. I think this platform is beyond the political discussion we have here. It's turning to, it's giving us another opportunity to create family or friendship. So for me, I'm so happy to have interface with them one-on-one. And also those that I'm yet to meet one-on-one to, I know the right time, the opportunity will provide itself for us to meet. Alfred, thank you once again. Coming to the issue about our country, I think now, having been to Ghana for at least a month, now you have a fair idea of the economic situation within the country. So I will, at this material time, plead with you not to, even though you are a host, not to deny us the opportunity when we need to know the reality, so that our listeners who have not yet gone home can have a fair idea of what the economic situation is, as far as we come here weekly to discuss or talk about. When I am going to say it, they might think, the listeners and viewers might think that I'm being political. When my brother Ifa or Kojo is also saying it might look political. Now you, the neutral person as the host, have gone to experience the situation yourself. So maybe your narration, your version of the issue might probably go down well with the listeners. Alfred, I think year-old registration for me, it's a good thing that every well-meaning Ghanaian should embrace. I started my political journey since 1996. And I remember in a time past where you have to go and queue for a number of days. You have to wake up early to go and be in a queue just for it to get to your turn for you to register, so that you'll be able to participate in the decision making as far as the governance of the country is concerned. So it has never been a nice experience when you have to go through hassle to get the voter ID that will make you eligible to vote. So I think after from 1996 to date, there have been a significant improvement as far as the voter ID registration process and the quality of service is also concerned. So nobody in a rightful sense will go against the registration being open for people who have turned 18 to go through the process to get their name on the system. But the most important thing is that which have generated an issue which we all need to look at is the modality and process of the registration. I think that is what is in contention now, and for which we all have to add our voice. Alfred, it is so amazing that since Dr. Kojo Afari-Gyan went on retirement, you hardly hear him speaking on national issues, most especially as far as the institution that he had for so many years was concerned. He will be the last person to make his opinion known on issues as far as the Electoral Commission is concerned. So for Almighty Dr. Afari-Gyan to add his voice to this, you should give us a clear indication that we are heading towards danger, because this is a person who doesn't speak anyhow. So for him to come out in this manner should at least give us a fair, regardless of our political affiliation, to come back to the table and to call the Electoral Commissioner to order. You see, the Electoral Commissioner is behaving as if Ghana, when you talk of Ghana, it is Accra and Kumasi. Alfred, politics have taken me to different parts of the country, and I have gotten the chance to witness a situation where a district capital, you have to travel miles before you get to your district capital. You have to, sometimes there are certain district capitals where when you miss one car, you have to wait a day or two to get to arrange for the next coming vehicle. So the Electoral Commissioner should not behave as if when you talk of Ghana, it is Accra and Kumasi. When you go to the interland, the Afram Plain, the Abojusango, and all those places, you notice that they are very, very remote area. And even it will amaze you that the Ghana card that we are even talking of, people in that area have not have knowledge of it, and they don't have idea at all. Let alone for you to talk about you making this as a prerequisite or a requirement to have your name on the voter register. I think this will disenfranchise a lot of people. A lot of people won't be able to register because for now, as we even speak, the information available per the communication minister is that 16 million people have registered with the NIA, with the Ghana card, and less than 14 million have received their card. So the question is, how are they expecting people who don't have the Ghana card to have their name on the voter register? Now, let me give you another statistics. In 2020, the number of people who have their name on the voter register was more than 17 million. The question is, should the Ghana card being a prerequisite or requirement strictly like as it's been done today, could the electoral commissioner have 17 million on the voter register? The answer is no, because a lot of more than 3 million people are on the voter register because some other processes of registration were implemented that got the number to 17 million plus. For instance, if I have registered, I can guarantee for, I think, a minimum of 5 people or so, or 3 people or so, which I'm not too sure. You can guarantee for people. So that have increased the number to more than 17 million on the voter register. So if the requirement was to have a Ghana card as a prerequisite for you to have your name on your the voter register, if that policy was implemented in 2020, there is no way we could have 17 million on the voter register, because even as we speak currently, the number of people who have the Ghana card are less than 14 million. So I think the electoral commissioner should go and come back again. And this is the time, I think, the political parties, because they might think that this might affect NDC. It might not affect only NDC. It might affect NDC. It might affect NPP. It might enfranchise all Ghanaians. So I expect that the political parties in the parliament should speak against this, kick against this.
I don't think it's necessary to read politics into this, right? Because when you're asking people to, register with the Ghana card is now only accessible to one particular party, right?
That is what I'm saying.
This should impact both NDC and NPP equally, unless you're saying that the NPP has a way to make sure that its members get the card. But anyway, wrap up for me so we can move on to
that is what I am saying, that the honor lies on the representative in parliament. They should all speak in one voice,
right? To
tell the electoral commissioner that this will not inure to the benefit of the entire country,
right?
Okay, but if there is undercurrent, where for which reason, because the first person to have mentioned this was Dr. Bawumia. He was the first person to have mentioned this, that a Ghana card would be a prerequisite for you to have your name on the voter register. So there is no way we can rule politics out of it entirely.
Okay.
So if the representative in parliament do not do anything about it, I'll call on the rank and file of the party NDC to go against all out. I think it is time. We have been too silent. We've been too cold on the way we handle some of these issues. The earlier we go all out, the better for us. Because
what do you mean by go all out? I don't understand.
Alfred,
what are you suggesting?
Alfred, NDC is a major stakeholder as far as Ghana election is concerned.
Okay.
There is no way an institution.
The proposal it's not something that would affect only NDC, right? Because the Ghana card is now only something that is given to one political party member. So we are saying that it's an equal opportunity. Is going to equally impact both.
Alfred, I am a politician.
So why should NDC go all out?
Alfred, I am a politician. Why should the vice president make this comment? Less than 2 weeks, the electoral commissioner will be making this prerequisites. Right. There is a political undertone.
Okay.
So there is no way we'll rule politics out of it. And I am saying it with all sincerity. I'm saying it and calling on the rank and file of the party that we have been too dormant, we have been too cold, we have been too looked on for too long.
Right.
And if these people are not willing to do the right thing, we must also go all out to make sure that the right thing is done. Even if you have to be in a violent manner, we should go all out.
No, don't say that. It should never, ever be in a violent manner. And nobody should. Matter of fact, we don't accept that comment, or we are not accepting that comment on this platform. There should be no violence. No party should resort to violence because of a registration that
That is the language they want
NDC proposes to undertake. But let me also bring in Kojo DC on this case. Kojo DC, I take offense to the violent part that my friend Legacy just mentioned. I believe what the MPP, what the Electoral Commission intends to undertake here is going to affect both parties equally. But do you think we are ready for this? I know the Ghana card is going to be essential in identifying the population going forward, but we are not there yet. So what is the necessity? Why is this necessary right this time?
Thank you. Welcome back home. And thank God he has taken you that far and brought you back here. You see the family, how when you're driving the Volta region, you see how the road was smooth. Everything was.
Well, I don't want to tell you more than you need to know, but I'll talk to you in the back.
No, of course, of the country in the Rome was not built in a day. It is still being built.
Right.
You see, so that I understand that. Again, let me also say hello to my brother, Lifetime Legacy. I know he didn't mean that. He just have to say something. But
it's in a moment. Yeah.
He's sitting here in America. He's not going anywhere to go fight. So let me tell you. So let's be serious for a second. Okay, so this is the situation where I sometimes have a difficulty understanding my brothers in NDC. Because at the end of the day, we have a country that we all want to be developed, right?
Right.
We are here in the US. Alfred have a social security number. I do have one. Lifetime have one. Whoever is listening to them, most of us have it, right? It's one identification that you can use for everything. If you're going for rent, they will ask for your social security. If you're going to open a bank account, you'll be asked for that.
Right.
This is a country that we have had independence.
But the United States got to a point where once you are, you are born, you are issued a social security. When you come to this country and you migrate from elsewhere, let's say you are Ghanaian and you travel to the United States and change your status to become a green card holder, you are given social security immediately. But Ghana, we are not there yet. We've just started issuing these cards, and we Legacy told you. We haven't even gotten to half of the population yet.
I was building a point, but you didn't let me. So this is I'm trying to arrive at something, right?
Okay, sure. All right.
As a country, and I'm not going to put a blame on whatever party, which I'll do later, but not for now. I'm just giving a scenario. If as a collectively, if we have built this system over, there won't be no confusion, right? If we have built it, if you go somewhere in Togo, which I can always set example. You cannot go and get Togolese, passport. There's no way, because there's a certain number that will be given to you at birth. It's like Ghana, where everybody can go get a passport. So we have not built the system. So over 60 years, we have not been able to do that. And this is the time in 2001 when President Kufuor came, set on a committee to go on to make sure every Ghanaian or expatriate that comes into the country, like me as a foreigner here, we can have something to identify you. Since 2009, January 7th to 2017, January 7th, there was this institution that was built, but nothing was done, right?
Right.
So that thing is gone. Then another government comes and say, we started this, we want to do it. When was the registration start? I think it was 2019, right? 2019 when the registration started.
Okay, yeah. But we've been doing versions of this, even under the NDC. You notice that
there's nothing to prove for. They do piloting somewhere. We did the piloting in 2007 thereabout, in 2008 thereabout. After our government power, government will change. There were about 5 CEOs during the NDC time, and nothing was done. And I mean nothing. Let's put that up. We came into power, we said this is something that we're supposed to be doing. And at the end of the day, we started. Like my brother said, almost 15 to 16 million people have been registered.
Right.
Less than 14 million people had their card and card, including me, I have mine. Right? We are now, from now to 2024, And the EC is saying, so that's why I say I have a problem with my brothers in the NDC. When the EC came to Parliament and with the LI telling them that, see, we are not going to do a new register vote, but we are going to do a continual registration of voting. So what we are going to do is, as soon as you have a Ghana card, you go to any of the EC offices and register as a voter. That's it.
Right.
In going forth in terms of 2024, the EC is not going to compare whoever is on the register. For instance, I register to vote in 2020, right? 2020. I have. Once I did that, by then I didn't have my Ghana card, right? So for it, on let's say 2024, and I have to go to Ghana and go, of God willing, the EC is going to ask me, show me your voter's ID card and show me your Ghana card, right? So that the system, we are building a system. We are synchronizing the entire system, the banking system, the Senate system, the immigration, everything, the police. Like here, when somebody mentioned Amuzu's name, and as soon as you have Amuzu's social security number, you can verify everything, what he does, what kind of car he drives, the wife, the family. That's what we are trying to build. So in this case, like you already said, the fact that the EC is acting as is just as one part of a institution that is acting in order to synchronize the entire system. So why is the NDC not complaining that everybody have to bring their Ghana?
Well, I guess there's the legal question of.
Let me finish on this one. Why is the NDC not asking questions that why is the Senate or Social Security Senate asking individuals to register with their Ghana card before they are benefiting? But when it comes to election, there's always this cabal, quote unquote. Whoever government is in power is doing anything to change the system. The other side is saying, oh, no, they want to steal the election. Listen, sometimes we have to bring ideas and build a better country like me and you are sitting here today.
Right.
So we can be proud of ourselves. When in 2016, President Mahama brought Salat Osei. What happened? She lost. In 2008, what did we NDC said about Dr. Farijan? MPP lost. When the people are ready to change government, there's nothing you can do. You can just forge everything. You can't do it because the vote everywhere is in what? In your constituency. So let's do if they have any ideas, let's bring it all together and say, hey, at the end of the day, before you can enforce this, make sure the national identification is able to register majority of Ghanaians by the time we get in 2024.
Right.
And let me say this. If the NDC, when we started in 2019, if NDC have not discouraged its members, including members of parliament, not to register for Ghana card, by now, we might have almost 20 million people registered. Why is it that anything that is being a beneficiary to the country, the NDC will fight against that? I don't understand. This is something that we all have to come together and use it. At the end of the day, for instance, if we might lose our election in 2020, is the NDC telling us they are going to stop registering Ghanaian and they are not going to use this system to develop the country, to know how to plan and how to share equitable of our whatever we have, resources we have? Is that something that they are telling us? See, we should.
So I'm trying to get your point, right? So your point is that we should wait until we get to a certain point in our registration cycle in order to implement this, or
no?
You think
we're supposed to. We have to use this because we need one identification number for individuals in our country. But
there is no law in Ghana saying that you need a Ghana card in order to vote. But the law in Ghana did say that once you turn 18 and you're of sound mind, you should be allowed to vote. Okay. So what compels, where is the source of that authority that
the fact that
the Electoral Commission is exercising? I'm trying to figure that out. Why would you allow Electoral Commission to break the law just to satisfy some sort of synchronization of a system that you are describing.
So hold on. Say, Alfred, the Ghanaian law, which is the constitution, says once you turn 18 and you have sound mind, you can vote, right? If
Correct.
you don't, you vote when you turn 18. If you don't go and register, can you just go out there and say, hey, my name is Kojo, I'm 18 years, I want to vote?
But that's a given. We said, that's what the law says.
There's
Yeah.
a process, and there are laws. And this LI that is put before Parliament is not something that has passed. It's a proposal that has
but
been...
you don't need Ghana card to prove that you're Ghanaian. That's the thing.
Of course. Why do you think no? You don't have to. But so, for instance, if somebody is recently that they are able to identify who is American and who is a green card holder, because the social security number doesn't tell. Very few people are not recent.
You don't need social security number to prove that you're a U.S. citizen.
Exactly. Exactly. So
I'm telling you, you don't need social security to prove that you're a U.S. citizen.
Exactly. The same thing is that
why do you need Ghana card to prove that you are a Ghanaian citizen?
Exactly. But based on our own system and how we want to make sure, in order to be able to say, hey, everything, this guy is who he is with this very identification number. We don't want to see Amuzu having 5 names. So once you have one identification number, I'm not talking about social security, that number can identify one person and whatever he does or do, right? So this is a situation that we all want to do. Like, we are so proud to say America, oh, you go, police stop you, they do this. And we want to build the same system.
Okay, let me ask you the last question. Let me do the last interjection and then let you finish up so we can move on. So you are saying that in Ghana, it's possible for somebody to have 5 names. And that is because somehow we're not able to build a system for birth registration and administration. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. So hold on. Let me answer that question. So, for instance, I'm from Chebi, right?
Yeah.
My name is Kojo Day, and I moved to Hohoi, and my name is Koku. How can you verify me?
How are you able to do that?
Of course, people do it. It's just I'm surprised.
And why is that possible? Is it possible because there are no? No. I'm trying to pin down where the problem is. Right. I don't think the problem is in Ghana card. And here's why. If the government, who is supposed to build a birth registration system and a public identification system, fail to do its job, it shouldn't be a punishment on the people who are trying to exercise their franchise by voting. If the government wants to, you don't need, like, the government should first of all tackle how to have a single birth registration system that can be authenticated so that people can just arbitrarily change their names. I think that is where the problem is. Don't you agree?
You go to Avetime village somewhere when a woman is born and they don't even know when the day that was born. They didn't go to any, what do you call it? This thing that they built, what's the name? The community thing they built, what is it? The small clinics, what's the name? They have a name. Compound, cheap compounds. They've birth in the house. Who's going to put that thing in there? Right? We lack so many things. And this is the government. And then you're talking about government. We've had independence in 1957. We've not been able to do this. And I'm not blaming it on anybody. This is the time we are starting it. So once we are starting,
so you are starting to kind of actually now build a unique way of identifying people. You have not registered half of your population. And all of a sudden you are saying that for you to vote, you need to have that unique identifier. Meanwhile, you've not really gotten everybody else on board yet.
So hold on.
Why don't you? So what is the rush? Because when you do that, you're going to disenfranchise people, and by so doing, you are breaking the law. Nothing in the Constitution or anywhere in our laws says that Ghana card is the way to prove you're a citizen. Nothing says that.
Nothing.
So I'll give you 1 more minute to wrap up so we can.
I'll wrap on. Just hold on. Listen to this. So, what is the Ghanaian population now? It's about 30, let's say 31 million, right? In the last registration that we had, it's almost 17 million people. out of the 17 million, I think about 15 or 16 million, 12 million people voted, right? So what is the point that you can do if you're going to be registered voters in 2016, whoever has their name at the moment and whoever is going to register for 2024? Why can't we all, as a society, like NDC, NPP, whoever in parliament, to come together and say, hey, let's put more pressure to the NIA to register?
And that's a good question. But until we do that, that's a good question. But until we do that, why is the Electoral Commission in a rush?
But
all right, let me bring in Paul DeSoso on that note.
Is the election being held tomorrow?
Well, but we are saying that open the registrations anyway. There are, like you said, 16 million people on the register who already are not on the register by virtue of their Ghana card. So why are you making it mandatory that any additional person trying to get it on now? I mean, you do holistic periodic re-registrations, which we accept. So to that point where maybe you have 90% of the population registered on the Ghana card or with Ghana card, then you can then say, okay, guys, let's do a holistic registration right now. We need everybody to prove that they have a Ghana card in order to. But it's like this current policy is discriminatory. It's telling people who are now trying to get on the register to do something that the other 16 million people on the register were not asked to do.
No, yes, no. So that's so good. You shouldn't even be worried about the 60 million because we are not going to register another 16 million people onto the.
Oh my God! One person discriminated against is enough. But let me get somebody else on. But before I do that, I give you 30 seconds to kind of land up for me, please.
So we are not going to add 16 million people. So there are already 17 million people who are already registered. The EC is not demanding anything of bringing in your Ghana card. It's the continual registration of people who are coming in will demand that. But in times to come, what we have to use, we are going to make sure people will bring their Ghana card. And what are they going to do? Make sure they synchronize with the system they have already. So there won't be anything different. That is all. We're just developing the country. I don't know how this thing should be something that we're all fighting against it. I don't understand it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that spirited defense of the Electoral Commission. It is interesting that the NPP is always defending the Electoral Commission and the NDC is always bashing them. So it kind of, I don't know. It should be an institution that we all want to progress or we all want to do things the way, in the right way.
Let me just say this word. I'm not defending the EC, but I am trying to say we are in a system here that we trust. We, as a Ghanaian, should also build a system that we can trust without.
Until we do that, we should not disenfranchise people. All right, Paul DeSoso, welcome to the show. It's been a long time. You've heard your counterparts here, Kojo, spiritedly defending the NPP, the Electoral Commission. Or in other words, saying that we need to build the systems. We are in the United States. We have a unique identifier called Social Security number. It is at the basis of everything we do. Why shouldn't we want the same for Ghana? Somebody has to start from somewhere. The Electoral Commission is saying that at least from those who are turning 18, who would be taking or benefiting from the continuing registration process, there is a process in place for you to register for a Ghana card. So go and get it done. And once you're done with that, come to us. We'll put you on the register as well. What's wrong with that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Muzu, and I'm very grateful to be here this afternoon.
Paul, you don't want to show us your face today?
No, I'm not home. I'm on the road, so
okay.
How do you call it? My very good friend Kojo DC was just, beating around the bush and then playing mischief and trying to once again misinform us this afternoon and throw dust into our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's set the record straight. You remember when this new or hot current, voter register that we have, before the EC was about to put up that registration together during the COVID era. You remember the NDC came out with one of the reasons why the NDC was against this voter register was that we should wait and make sure that a lot of people get their Ghana card so that we can use that Ghana card, to to create a new voter register. You remember that argument? That was not an argument why the NDC was making, and the EC and the NPP refused to listen to it, and they said they were going to go ahead to create a new voter register.
Right.
This issue went to court, and the Supreme Court, as they are, that have become the puppet of the government in power, ruled against this thing. And the same Supreme Court also ruled saying that apart from your passport, you cannot use birth certificate as an identity form.
Right.
So this story did not start from today. There are genesis to the story. So let's all put on record and let's set the record straight that these were the very thing that the NDC were speaking against whilst they were about to develop this current voter register, which the NPP and then the EC refused to listen. Now they've gone back all around. They've spent over $400 million in the coming of a new voter register, and now you're coming to tell us that if you don't have a Ghana card, you cannot get your name on the current existing voter register. So where do we go? Did we go or did we come? This is the reason why if you're doing something, you don't seek or look at your political interest, you look at the interest of the nation. Now, let's look at the issue that they are, or the issue that Kojo is trying to allude or whatever here, that the NDC is against, and told people not to. It's not factually right. It's not correct. The NDC has never been against the Ghana card. The NDC is a law-abiding political party that will have or will seek the interest of Ghana. Now, the question we are asking is, per the recent census carried out, per the Statistical Department record, we have about 31 million people in the country. Which, in any case, is plus minus 2. You know that. When you are doing this estimation, you are plus minus 2. In my view, in my opinion, we are above 35 million. That's my opinion, because a lot of people did not take part in that. Census. So let's assume we go by the 31 million people. Per the data that we all know, the National Identification Authority is saying that they've registered 14 million people as we speak.
Right.
Let's even assume we are going by the EC information that they put out, that they were able to register 17 million people during the last election. 3 million people are still there that do not have their voters' ID card.
Right.
And you have given a deadline to September ending, pretending as if the country belongs to you. Look, in our constitution, the constitution says that 80 years and with sound mind, you are eligible to vote.
Correct.
It does not lie in the hands of the EC to come and make a law to try to prevent people from voting because they don't have Ghana card. It is nowhere in our constitution. And we are saying that if you want to pass such a law, why won't you take your time and make sure that the all members, everybody, Ghanaians who are eligible to have the Ghana card, have the Ghana card. Look, Mr. Musa, I was in Ghana in February. I went to the National Identification Authority headquarters around the golf house.
Right.
And I had Ghana card. I paid $250 for express service. 250 Ghana cedi, sorry, for express service.
Right.
Apart from that, I have to spend the whole day over there. Now, the question is, how many Ghanaians will have that 250 Ghana cedi to go and pay for express service?
Right. They don't need to, right?
They don't need to. It is the responsibility.
But if you're doing it regularly, how long does it take? I'm not able to do that because of my job.
Exactly. So I have the Ghana card, and if you want to go by the Ghana card, then I'm eligible to vote in the next election. That's good.
Right.
The question over here is, out of the 31 million people, if the National Identification Authority said that they've registered a little over 14 million, then there's a huge number of people that needs to go to the register.
Right.
Let's do a rough estimate. Let's even assume that out of the remaining over 50, let's say out of the 10 million are case less than 13 years. So the rest of the people, 5 million people, are supposed to vote or are supposed to be registered before the 30th September deadline that has been given by the minister.
Right.
The National Identification Authority, Ken Atefua, has come out to say that it is not possible.
Are we talking about SIM card registration or?
Yeah, I think you kind of mixed the September is for the SIM card registration. So
no, the September is for SIM card registration, but according to Ken Atefua, the Ghana card, they cannot be able to register those 5 million people to be able to go and get their SIM card. Okay.
Yeah, but that's different from the electoral.
I know what I'm saying. Now the EC is trying to tell all of us that, okay, if you don't have Ghana card, you cannot get yourself listed on to the voter register.
Yeah.
The question is, how many people or how long would it take the NIA to be able to register all this remaining, let's even say 5 million Ghanaians? And Ken Atefua is on record saying that you cannot use this Ghana card to stop people from being a Ghanaian. And of course,
but Paul, they are also opening the registration up so that you have a continual registration until the election in December 2024. So don't you think that's ample time to get people
I said
to?
It's not true. They've not opened the registration. I was in Ghana. I got
no,
my
but I'm
Ghana
saying
card.
that's what the bill.
I went to the EC office. They told me they are not doing the continual registration. It's not going on.
Yeah, but I'm saying because the bill hasn't passed through Parliament yet. They just tabled a bill called the public.
The CI. I know my brother was saying say LI. LI is not it's the CI constitutional.
It's a CI. It's the constitutional instrument.
Yes.
So they have one called the Public Elections Regulations 2021.
Exactly. Yeah. That is sent to Parliament, and in that CI, they are stating that you should have only Ghana card. That's the only form of identity they are going to allow.
Accept. Correct.
And we are saying it is wrong. Because for you to be able to get a Ghana card, you have to use your passport, or you get people to vouch for you.
Right.
How come if I'm going to get a Ghana card, I can take Alfred and my brother Kojo DC to go and vouch for me that I'm a Ghanaian, and I'll be able to get a Ghana card? But if I'm going to register or to get on the voter register, if I cannot take anybody to vouch for me, I cannot use my passport, I have to use only Ghana card. I mean, what is the logic in this? So for me, the EC is trying to step on areas that they are power or they've not been given that power, or they are not allowed to go. They are trying to step above their limit, which they know to be called to order. Today, my brother Kojo DC will be playing politics and be saying that and NDC, blah, 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 and all this stuff. But let's set the record straight. The fact is that these are the reasons why we're saying to them in 2019, 2020 that let's all make sure that we should rather focus on getting all Ghanaians to get their Ghana card so that we can get a good source document.
Right.
And create a
But they are doing that now. They are doing that now. So, I mean, they may not have done it in the past, but they are doing it now. So shouldn't you be happy?
So that's why it doesn't lie in the hands of the electoral commission to say that without your Ghana card you cannot be ready to get on the voters' list. It's wrong. It is wrong. And I know that the minority caucus in Parliament are going to fight this one out. They will make sure that doesn't go.
But why should they fight it out? Again, I'm concerned because if you turn 18, you have 2 years from now to actually get your Ghana card. 2 years and get on a register. Isn't that enough time? Shouldn't we be encouraging people to do that? Because we do need people to get their Ghana cards.
Alfred, we are nobody's saying people should not go and get their Ghana card. People can get their Ghana card. But the question is, as we speak, the Ghana card or the National Identification Authority themselves, they are having issues. Okay? They've stated that it will take them some time to be able to register everybody and get everybody on this, or get everybody issued with a Ghana card. Right. Now, the problem is the NPP has short-sightedness, and they are not solving the issue from the root cause. In this country, as soon as you give birth, okay, at the hospital, birth and death comes in and then take the data and captures the data.
And do their registration,
And do their registration. You wait. When you are 16 years, you go for your state ID. By the time you go for the state ID, the record is there already. So there's no dispute over there. When the time you get to 18, you don't need to tell them. Your name will be automatically ID. So I am saying over here that look, let's us take time. Let's tread cautiously. Let's not rush through this. 2024 election is going to be very, very successful. If the EC want it to go, then they should listen to the concerns that is being raised by the minority, that they should revise their CI to include other form of identity, either a passport or two people who already are on the voter register should be able to vote for you. That's all we are saying.
Right.
How difficult is this thing? Because my good brother Kojo DC and his party knows they want to rig the 2024 election, which already we know their plans and we know what they are trying to do, and we will not allow them to do it.
All right. Thank you so much. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Dr. Ato Kominadanso on this issue. And we also joined by our good friend, John Bat Ado, who would also be contributing. I will be hearing from. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
All right, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, my name is Alfred Amuzu, and you're on the Ghana Agenda. Today, we are talking about the Electoral Commissioner and the proposal they currently have on the table to open voter registrations up continuously throughout the year. And that's, once you turn 18, you can show up in their office and register, with one caveat, being that you have to have the Ghana card in order to successfully undertake a registration and get your name onto the voter register. We've discussed this. We've heard from Lifetime Legacy. We've also heard from Kojo DC, and we just heard from Paul Disoso as well on this issue. Now let me bring in Dr. Ato Kominadanso, our neutral, to also tell us his views on whether we are actually ready or whether we should even be doing this. Is it something we should wait for until we get to a certain point in the number of people holding the Ghana card in order to actually enforce this policy? Or this is something we should just start now, hoping that it will force people to go and obtain their Ghana card? Because the pace at which people are going for the Ghana card is a bit disappointing. We would think by now that the numbers would be encouraging, but it's not. We do need people to get on the Ghana card anyway. So should we use this as a way? If you want to vote, definitely go for the Ghana card. But even doing so would be against the law in one way or the other. So, Doctor, welcome to the show, and it's been a while. We'll be happy to have you. What are your views on this?
Thank you very much, and greetings to my fellow panelists. Yep. And I see, before I even say anything, you're looking fly today.
Thank you.
I know. Welcome back from Ghana. You're really looking good.
Thank you so much.
I hope you had fun. I hope you had fun back home in Ghana. It's always
yes, I did. Yes, I did.
So the idea behind this is great, man. This is the idea is great in the sense that right now I can take my son or my daughter who was born over here, take her to Ghana and say, oh, he or she is Ghanaian or was born in Ghana, and no one will
Right.
say anything. Right now, if
Right,
you go to
right.
any African country and then say that I'm saying Nigerian, no
Right.
one will say anything just because you just go to tell them, oh, I was born this day at this hospital. So
And that is very dangerous for a country. you
It
know?
is. It
A country that
is.
is not able to identify its population. It's
It
just
is.
a banana republic from.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the idea behind it is great idea, but the implementation, because right now in Ghana we have places where there's no access to roads. They don't have access to roads to even go there. So if you're telling me if you're setting a deadline, and I can't even travel from one A to B without going through hardships, then so I think it's a good idea, but they could have done this in years. But I want this to be a policy or to be part of the law, so that the NDC comes back in government and they are bound to follow this process. I think the fear of or the issue is that government come, government goes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like the VSHS. Someone can just come today and say, I don't like it. And change it.
Abolish it because it's not a law. Well, though there's a constitutional provision for free education all the way through the secondary level.
I know, but
it has never been implemented. So
I know.
This is the first time.
Yeah. So some of these policies, they are flagship policies that are really good, but implementation is horrible. And I don't think it was right for. What I think should have been done is, okay, we set up a time frame, because we know very well that so many people are unable to. They have to travel long distances, and I know that people will procrastinate no matter what date you set. But It has to be reasonable. It has to go by smart. It has to be simple. It has to be measured. You cannot just set any other day for people to.
But how do you get our population to actually comply? Because I know that Ezekiel Ursula, what is the name? The
Osler, Osler. I listened to Osler.
Osler had tried to put a deadline on, is it 31st July or 30th July or so, to say you need to register your SIM card or you're going to be cut off. Sort of trying to intimidate people into getting, their SIM cards registered. It looks like such a tactic is the only thing that people listen to when you try to say you're going to take some privilege away if you don't do this. That's the only way they will do it. And I think perhaps maybe the Electoral Commission is also using voting as a way to bring people to register.
No, Alfred,
although it's not the right thing to do, but it looks like that's what the Electoral Commission is trying to do here.
Yeah, I don't really think that was the right thing to do. I think it has to be a continuous process. The timeline was not right. The timeline definitely was not right. There has to be a setup where people are able to, at least they have enough time. You cannot just, it's not like it's a military experience where people have to do A, B, or C. We are in a republic. So they have to find better ways of doing this than just setting up dates. But the Electoral Commission cannot use that because, like I said, we are in a country where people can just go. I understand that they know people are coming from other places to vote, but then you cannot just say all these people are just NPP sympathizers. It's not possible. It's not reasonable. Like Paul is saying, then the NPP party is not going around telling people to hop into buses to go and register. It doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. It has to be a process. It cannot just be A, B, or C. No, it has to be options, so that it has to be like a 10-year.
But it's also possible. It's also possible for the NPP to encourage its people and incentivize them to actually get on and even fast track their registration, especially if you are going to use it as a way of eliminating. Yeah,
exactly. But they're not doing that.
We don't know. So we don't know, right? We don't know.
No, they're not doing that. They're preventing. They're telling people not to even do that.
No, the NDC is not doing that. But I'm saying the MPP could be using this strategically.
I know. To just say, okay, come, we'll help you to go and vote, because you cannot. People live in remote areas in Ghana. We are from the remotest places in Ghana. People cannot be traveling, and then you keep deadlines and people rush. We have COVID. We have even monkeypox. So. I mean, like I said, our problem is not just with the idea. We have ideas, but we are unable to implement it well. That's a problem of Africans.
Right. 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 So we have several forms of ID. We have passport. We have even different versions of the Ghana card. This is just a new one because we've had one before. That's, you know, even the NIH registration alone, which covers perhaps majority of the population, could have been converted into the Ghana card so that people automatically would have that unique identifier. But we are creating a different layer of unique identifiers on top of identifiers. So yeah, you're right. Okay.
Doc, give me 1 minute, 1 second, just 30 seconds. Doc, see, the country that I don't know how long you lived in Ghana, but our people, everything that we do, we need to be forced. That's why when Jerry was and there's not much indiscipline in our country. Nowadays, we're basing everything on, we're in the democracy and all of that, and people are taking advantage of it. Sometimes you need a benevolent dictator like Paul Gigali so that you can stop things in Africa. We've not been there like here when everybody knows this is our audience. If I'm not going to work on Friday, I have to go sit down and do. Somebody will wait till 2 days when they say the day is, then they go line up.
Right.
Sometimes we have to use some kind of force to do things. I know it's not the right way, but hey, things people we have to do something to change.
Right. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much for that interjection. Yes. I think Paul, Lifetime Legacy, you also want to say something quickly?
Yeah, Alfred. I want a few time to do some few rebuttal. You know,
do that in 1 minute so we can switch to the next topic.
Okay. So I withdraw the violent comment as per that.
Thank you.
Use in my submission. But I think we should use every legitimate means to resist.
Right.
Anything that would disenfranchise Ghanaians. Kojo also made a comment which for me is inaccurate. Alfred, I have Ghana card. I got my Ghana card in 2012.
Okay.
Before the process was hot. It wasn't a pilot. I didn't get mine through a pilot. The previous administration started the registration of members where they did it like the Electoral Commission, the way they deploy to branches to register people in a mass. That is how I got my Ghana card in 2012.
Right.
We were told that there were some features that were supposed to be inculcated into the card. That is why they were trying to modify from 2D to 3D. That is why they halt the process for the continual registration from 2012. I used my Ghana card that I got to do a lot of transactions before coming to the US. Right. So the impression should never be created as if this government is the one who is changing everything all of a sudden. Like I said, in principle, I believe in continual registration. I believe that Ghanaians must have identity form that is so unique. But we must also, I don't know, Kojo is saying that it's from Achim. I don't know which side of Achim is coming from. There are a lot of villages where when you look at the district capital, even let me use the what do you call it?
I'm from Chibia Pepem, Abuakwa South.
Look at the number of villages surrounding you before you get to your district capital.
Right.
You get it. Look at what do you call it?
Yeah. So we understand all that.
So what that I want to say is that we are doing things. We should Accra and Kumasi is not Ghana.
Right.
So every single thing that we intend to do, let's think of the last ordinary person who makes whose income a day is less than 5 cedi. Those are the people we should, when we are trying to formulate or do come out with a policy, those are the people we should take into mind before we implement any policy.
Okay.
But
let's take a quick break. Yeah.
The registration went through all the villages, all constituencies, the 2019 one when the NIA started. So that been there. The only I have difficulty with the national identification program, because after they've done that, then they want everybody to come to Accra to verify or change something. That is the problem, right? But that thing, if we all, and like I said earlier on, if the NDC have encouraged Ghanaians to do that, like NDC was a lot of power in Ghana.
But you don't put a blame on a political party who has no power to actually hear me out. No power to actually implement a policy like this. The government should be able to take the registration to the people, not the people coming to the registration. So if the government is failing at this, blame the government. Why are you blaming NDC to encourage people? So you are telling NPP to tell my grandmother, NDC to tell my grandmother to get on a bus from a village to go to Accra to do some verification. I mean, get the registration, just like we did the biometric, where we took the biometric machines to the districts, to the people, to the constituencies. Let's do the same for the Ghana card.
Hear me out. The national authority went through all 33,000 or 38,000 constituents where the registration to register everybody. And I already said there's some problems when they asked them to come back to Accra, that one, but they did went there and register. But when the registration started, the NDC, which, like I said, the country is divided, everything we look at through political, came out and said nobody should go and register. And
all right.
Okay. And my is just land, please. If the MPP say don't go and register, if I'm a sympathizer, I might listen to them. It's not everybody who will listen.
Okay, you made that point. So let's get the NDC people to respond. If not, we just go to the next point, right? But you made a point. So the NDC discourages their people
not to go and register. If I'm lying, unless somebody comes here and tell me I was lying, that NDC did not tell his people not to register.
Right. So Paul, is that something you would be able to confirm for us? Is that something you did as a political party and discourage your people, and why would you do so?
Cricket.
Maybe Lifetime Legacy can answer that. Lifetime Legacy.
The cricket. They know.
Paul is coming. Okay, Paul
we are not.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
We are not against.
Can I speak?
Paul is ready to answer that. So go ahead, Paul.
I am saying that there is nowhere on record that the NDC is against the registration using or getting Ghana card. Okay.
Right.
When this Ghana card registration process started in 2017 or so, 2018, there were a lot of issues that came. Based upon that, we, the NDC, raised issues, and we said the NIA should resolve those issues. Until they resolve those issues, our members should hold on until they resolve those issues. That does not mean that we ask our members not to have the Ghana. It's a two different statements you are making this afternoon. Right. So please, when you are making the record or you are stating it, state it as the fact are. Don't try to, twist it to favor your political interest. Thank you.
Right. Okay, let's take a quick break and come back, and then we go talk about the job numbers. Okay, we'll be right back.
Right now. So you are aware
Just
of
one more pick, JJ, please.
But I'm going to say, when they
really? Smile. It's not every day my eldest son graduates.
I couldn't have done it without you.
All without Auntie Jane's generous support.
Here is to Auntie Jane's well-appreciated World Remit money transfers.
World Remit Corporation is licensed as a money transmitter by the New York State Department of Financial Services, as a foreign transmittal agency by the Massachusetts Division of Banks, number FT 1179663, and licensed by the Georgia Department of Banking and Finance, NMLS 1179663, Massachusetts Foreign Transmittal License, FT 1179663.
World Remit, a better way to send money. Download the app or visit worldremit.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. This is the Ghana Agenda for August 6, 2022. Today we are talking about unemployment or job numbers that have just been released by the United States government in the middle of the pandemic and Ukraine war. The U.S. government has announced just yesterday that employment, or what we call non-farm payroll employment, rose by 528,000 in July. And the unemployment rate edged down to 3.5%, And this is coming from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. There's the organizations that actually report this. So we've gotten to a point where the numbers of people being employed on a monthly basis is pre-pandemic level. It's the same, or we've actually exceeded what we were, seeing before March of 2022 when we started the lockdowns. So the question I have in my mind is, U.S. government seems to be doing an active management of the economy in the face of adversity or in the face of all the troubles that the world is experiencing, to the point where the government is able to generate jobs more than we've seen even before the pandemic. What could be the reason that a country like ours, Ghana, is not able to do same? To where at this point we are heading to IMF. And when we are asked why we are going to IMF, the best explanation we can give is that, supply chain disruption has occasioned because of the war in Ukraine, which has exacerbated the already deteriorating economic conditions occasioned by COVID-19. But countries, or the one that we live in, is doing good management. And I'm not seeing that good management coming from Ghana. So let me bring that question to you, Kojo. What is going on with the government? This is the government that told us that, they have the man. You do have the man. Why are we not using those men? The same way we are seeing other countries like the United States use their men to actually overcome the economic adversities that the world is currently undergoing.
Thank you, Amazo, again. First of all, if you're comparing U.S. economy to Ghana, then I think you're comparing, I don't know, if tomatoes with what? Bananas or whatever, I don't know. You can't compare this, the U.S. Economy to Ghana, right? Now, this is the most capitalist country ever in the world, right? Everything is privately owned or private driven. In our side of the equation, which is different, I understand the difficulties that we are in at the moment as a country, and even though we might blame partly some of them on Ukraine and then COVID, there are some fundamentals of the economy that ought to be changed. And those things have not been changed since 1957 when we had independence. We have all this Gettysburg economy, which my president said, which I understand. There are ways that we are managing it. This one district, one factory that we started. Like we always say, Rome was not built in a day. And as we speak, Rome is still being built. So we cannot do all the things at once. We are in the difficult times, and everybody admit that. We don't need a press conference or anybody to tell us. We can feel the heat. Even here that you're talking about, unemployment is down, it's dipping. Job numbers were up. In some sectors, I haven't read the report. I don't know where the job came from. But in some sectors like mine, which is in the transportation, people are crying. Right? People are crying very, very hard. It's tough.
Right.
So I don't know. I haven't read the report, so I can't even so. But I understand this is the United States, the biggest economy in the world. So we cannot compare Ghana to that. We can compare.
But I mean, in this particular sense, the United States economy has been way impacted more than the Ghanaian economy by COVID, so to speak.
I'm sorry. I will differ that with you. You see, the reasoning is, what is they have a word for it. The United States currency, which is the dollar, is they have a word for it. But let me just paraphrase this. What everybody uses to buy everything, right? In the whole world. It's to begin. And recently, until this Ukraine war, then Russia said, oh, everybody should buy with their currency. So beside that, the dollar is strong. Our city is not. And it's based on what? It's based on all the fundamentals of our economy. We import-driven country. We import everything into our country. There's no manufacturing going there.
So are you disagreeing that the U.S. has been impacted by COVID more than Ghana?
Yeah, of course. The
You
reason
disagree with that?
I disagree with that. You're talking about population-wise. It's about 300 and almost 30 million people compared to 31 million. So they just the numbers don't add up. You're comparing
Even in percentage terms, but I'm saying this is a country that locked down for years. Matter of fact, people are still working from home. You know, this is a country that, you know, you as a transportation person in the supply chain, you know, you are telling me that in that industry, people are still crying, but that is not the case. Yeah. So you know, how then do you conclude that the U.S. has less impact on its economy than? Yeah.
Yeah. This is a country where they have all access to internet in most of the rural. There's I would say 99% of the country internet access. And you have a country which about 31 million. Very few people have. Even if you have the access to the internet, it's not even strong like with me and you. And where I am, I'm in my yard trying to solve some, but I'm still speaking to you, right? But if I'm in my village in Chebia Pepem, sometimes I don't even have a network. It's just about 91 kilometers.
That was the case before COVID, and is the case after COVID. I'm saying that.
I was driving to something. You were saying people are still working from home. They are being productive.
Right.
Well, we can't. People were shifting motivation. Some people go this week, the other day, the other people go. Because we don't have those fundamentals.
But you are not saying the whole United States works on the computer. The Burger Kings don't work on the computer. Like the transportation industry doesn't work on the computer. So there is impact on the U.S. economy. Severe impact. Even if you look at the employment actually dipped into negative 14%. There was a whole what we call the Great Resignation that actually even happened in the USA. But we are saying that the U.S. is deliberately turning things around. Even the Central Bank of the United States is using its interest rates pronouncements to kind of manage their inflation in a way that is making the economy not have what we call a hard landing, because we know we all have economic trouble going on. We are making sure that we don't end up in a recession. And matter of fact, the July numbers, the prediction was that we're going to see a shrinkage in job creation, which would have been an indication that the country is already in a recession. If you have 2 consecutive months of negative job growth, you are technically in a recession. But usually when you're in a recession, your job numbers actually can expose you. It's pretty much where you see that, yes, in fact, there's a recession going on. But the opposite happened. The US actually created more jobs than they did even before the pandemic. And we are saying that when you see things like that, it's a reflection of, you know, the monetary policy manipulations or deliberate decisions that the government is taking to manage how they land in these economic difficulties. But in Ghana, you are seeing what? A run to the IMF, indiscipline in expenditure, even though the government will say we are going to cut some 20%, 30% here, which is not feasible, but they say it anyway, and nothing is happening. And we see that instead of even raising the monetary policy rate to the levels that would actually put a brake on the inflation, that is not happening. Inflation is currently at about almost 30% in Ghana. And, you know, where are the men to actually handle this thing the way it's supposed to be? That's the question.
We can hand over government to you, Amuzu, today.
Sure. We are ready. I'm ready.
But fundamentals of our economy will not change unless the entire Ghanaian population or the government, in quote unquote, both NDC and PP, change our policy of how business are done. I understand it when you're talking about US and their cutting. How much money did the US government pump into the economy since COVID? Over $4 trillion have been pumped into the economy.
How much was pumped into the Ghanaian economy?
How much?
All right. I think you're having sound difficulties.
Yeah, can you hear me? How much?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All the money all the money that we had from the IMF, the International Community, the World Bank.
Some 25 billion, some 25 billions, yes.
$5 billion.
25 billion. 25 billion.
Kojo is intentionally breaking because he cannot defend the past. He's intentionally breaking. So just
somebody's calling in. Hold on. Somebody's calling in. That's
okay. Let's switch to Paul as we wait for you to come back, Kojo. So Paul.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, Kojo, then land for me so that we can I can move to the next person. All right, Paul. Let's take your view on this, Paul. What is the issue? I mean, is it the one-off? They really don't have the men, or they have the men, but the men are not supportive. I heard a pastor actually making commentary on this, where he says, if you have the men, but you don't have unity, the men will not give you their brain. Do you think that's what is happening here?
You see, a decorated monkey will always remain to be a decorated monkey. Before these people got into power, we told them, or we told the good people of Ghana, that they don't know what they are about. They are just lying to them. And when His Excellency, the Mama said, if you've not been in government before, do not say things you don't know. People like Kojo DC and Dr. Ato and Ifa were, lambasting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, left, right. You see, the 2016 election is a blessing in disguise, which I always say, because it was good that we went to a position for Ghanaians to see these people, the sort of people they are, what they are made up of, how corrupt they are, how insincere they are, how directionless they are, how visionless they are. God allowed this thing to happen for the good people of Ghana to know this sort of people. By the way, Kojo DC, I like the way he talks. My wife is in the car. My wife said she has a sexy, way of talking, and then she can take people's girls from there. But I refuse. I refuse Kojo DC taking my wife from me. Anyway, that's it, by the way. So let's get back to the drawing board. You see,
Paul, you're a bad man.
Sorry. Kojo,
he said you are a bad man. He said you are a bad man. Just go ahead.
Yeah, my wife says she likes the way he talks. He talks romantically, and I say, well, that's really easy for you. He comes to just romant us on this line every day. Anyway, let me go back. You see, NPP has they have not been able to show to Ghanaians that all the things they told us in 2016 prior to winning the 2016 election, they've shown Ghanaians that they lied to the people of Ghana. I said, what are the issues or what are the facts? I know my brother Kojo DC and Dr. Atu will be telling us, and my brother Ifa will be telling us that, it is COVID and then Ukraine, Russia, that has made the economy to be where it is today. And let's face the reality. Before COVID strike in 2019, okay, these people were doing or were going beyond the accepted and threshold of, a deficit that one should, achieve.
Yeah, we've actually said we wanted to keep we have a fiscal responsibility act which requires that we keep our fiscal deficit
5%
under 5%, correct? But you are saying that even pre-COVID,
not more than 5%, right?
That's correct. So you are saying that before COVID, that
7.4%.
Yeah.
They were doing 7.4, and they came to lie to the good people of Ghana that they were doing 4.2. You see, the World Bank director has also put on record that the economy was going into retrogression direction before COVID hit. Look, Mr. Amuzo, COVID hitting, even though people lost their life, one life is precious, which nobody.
All right, I think we're having another sound issues there with Paul.
Okay.
Why am I saying so?
Go ahead, Paul.
Can you allow me to make my assumption? I am saying that the COVID situation, okay, was a blessing in disguise for the good people of Ghana.
Right.
This is the first time, okay, in the history of Ghana that just within a year or two, that the IMF, World Bank, and other CSO and other organizations has given Ghana over 25.
Okay.
As we speak, my brother Kojo DC and his competent people who claim they have the men have not been able to even account for the money. This was the money they shared when I was in Ghana in December to support for the election. They were giving out to traders, they were dishing out. Now, the reality is catching up to them. As we speak, our debt to GDP ratio is above 83%. As we speak. And even just today, I saw one of the rating organizations degrade us to C++, CCC++. Ghana is just not working under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa and Dr. Bawumia.
Right.
When they were in opposition, Dr. Bawumia was professing theories upon theories upon theories. What has happened? As the head of an economic management committee, our inflation is hitting almost 30% as we speak. And they will blame everything on COVID, but it is not COVID. COVID was a blessing to the good people of Ghana because the total amount of money that we receive from all these institutions, we should have done something better and manage our economy better.
Right.
Alfred, it is also on record that these people has consistently claimed that, I mean, they are the better managers of the economy, but it has turned out that all the information they give to us, they give different figures to the good people of Ghana, and when they go to IMF, they present different set of figures. And Alfred, I'm not going to be surprised that by the time that the IMF is going to approve the new deal that they are going through, all of us will know the true figures, because I still believe that they are hiding figures from us.
Right.
Now, we've become a laughing stock in the stock market. Nobody's ready to borrow.
Nobody's ready to give us any money. Yes.
Yes, any money, because we are very dangerous when it comes to paying our monies back or paying the loans
And
back.
this is the first time we have actually had to experience that.
Exactly.
I know back in 2013,
Since
14.
from the 1980s up to now, this is the first time that this is happening to us.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that my brother Kojo DC and other folks on this platform will still continue to be defending this super incompetent government. Look, what are the issues? We are telling them that they should come and call stakeholders meeting. Let's all sit down. Because, look, it's not in the interest of the NDC for the country to collapse before we come and take over in 2025.
So you're calling for Century 2.0. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. Because it's like they've lost it. They don't know what they want to do. They don't understand what they are doing. Their finance minister, their vice president, all of them have failed the good people of Ghana, including Kojo DC, who is speaking. They failed we, the Ghanaians, because they claim they had a man. But unfortunately, they lied to us. Now, as we speak, look at where the economy is. Look at the figures that are churning out. It's like Ghana is not working. Inflation is shooting to the roof. Today, as we speak, when you take $1, you go for 9.2 Ghana cedi with $1. And when Bawumia was in opposition, he made us to understand that when your fundamentals are weak, the dollar will expose you. So the question I want to ask Kojo DC and Dr. Ato this afternoon, is the dollar exposing them?
Well, they say they tell you that the entire world is being impacted by COVID and the Ukraine war. But here is the United States, which is also a country in the world, which is actually doing better than before COVID, regardless of. So it kind of put a hole in that whole argument. Yeah.
You see, this is a lesson for all of us as politicians.
Right.
Don't stay in opposition and then make a lot of noise and profess theories upon theories and then try to. You see, one thing about Bawumia did that he lied to the good people of Ghana, that this bank cleaning sector that he came speaking about, that he became the messiah of economy, was something that the NDC, prior to losing the election in 2016, all these documents were there. It was something we were going to do. He latched on it and then create the impression as if he's an economic messiah. Now they're giving the affair to you. You have become a digitalization man.
running away from the economy.
And especially when the economy is in trouble, that we need a Messiah. The Messiahs are now digitalized.
And the most saddest part of the whole issue is that instead of them, cutting out on expenses, we have a sitting president who is still renting a private jet, paying over £20,000 an hour. And these are the things that I expect Kojo DC to be condemning. These are the things that I expect Dr. Atu to be condemning. These are the things that I expect Efa to be condemning. But they will come and then they will defend it.
All right.
Over here, I am saying today that look, Ghana is where it is because of the likes of Dr. Bawumia and then Ken Ofori-Atta. Look, Mr. Amuzo, at the time that we speak, as we are speaking, the only way we can move forward and then get the economy back, which is going to take 2.5 years, which all of us here, we've done business management, we've done MBA, we know it. You can't just tell an economy overnight. It's going to take minimum 2.5 years to 3 years to be able to turn the economy back.
Right.
And the only way we can do that is to get this current finance minister out, and the vice president should be sacked from the economic management team because he has shown that the theories he professed or he was talking about when he was in opposition, he lied to the good people of Ghana. Now, as we speak, instead of them also being sober, we have the president moving left to right, dancing, enjoying, and he's not even thinking about the common people. People are finding it difficult to get 1 square meal of food to eat a day. You just came out from Ghana. I was in Ghana in February. It is very bad. And we expect Dr. Ato and my good friend Kojo DC, who is very romantic when he's speaking, to rather advise their government back home that they should sit up, they should put their ego aside, they should come on the drawing board, they should seek the help from the NDC because we know how to manage the economy. And during the era
but they tell you that you know how to manage the economy and you took it from 14% growth to 3.6%. That's not very encouraging.
Mr. Amuzo, at the time that the economy went to 3.6%, there was a lot of global crisis hitting the whole world. Okay, which we don't have any problem with. Hold on.
Well, of course, there was a subprime mortgage issue that we actually suffered from.
I know you were trying to say that there is a global crisis in COVID. I agree. By the time that the global crisis hit the oil sector, the gold, and our bauxite, IMF never gave us money. That is the difference. We didn't get money from the IMF, from the World Bank, from the African Bank.
Right.
During the era, they got all this money.
It wasn't anything.
It was when you were talking, I didn't digest you. You see, if I have a girlfriend, I'll not let my girlfriend talk to you because you are very, very romantic when you are talking. So please allow me to make my case. So I know this is the case they will make. They will tell you that in one breath we are saying that during that era, the economic crisis were very bad. Yes, it was very bad. We did not get any financial support or help from the international body, from IMF, from the World Bank, from the African Bank, and even from people from CSOs in Ghana contributing. We didn't get that help. As we speak, they got 25 billion Ghana cedi. What did they use the money for? That is the difference. Okay? So if even at that difficult time, we were able to man the economy at 3.4%, when the COVID strike, with all this money they got, they took the economy to 0.95. Am I right? Or 0.45%. That's what they took the economy to. And today, people rise up and say that they are better managers of the economy. They failed. Ghana is failing under Dr. Bawumia. Teachers are suffering. Carpenters are suffering. Doctors are suffering. Alfred is suffering. Kojo DC is suffering. Dr. Ato is suffering. And Paul Disoso is suffering under this super incompetent NPP government. And I want to use this platform to appeal to those members, especially Pat Ado, that they should stop throwing dust into our eyes. They should face the reality. They should know that the common Ghanaians are suffering. And we should all come on the table and let's work and make Ghana grow. Thank you.
All right, Paul. Ako Radio Management noticed that you probably are driving while contributing. So they want you to make sure that you are safe. Mostly, they prefer you.
My wife is driving. My wife is driving, so I'm very safe.
Okay, perfect.
I'm very safe.
Thank you.
The only
Thank you
problem
so
is that
much.
my wife likes Kojo DC, the way he talks, and I'm having a problem with that. That's the problem. So let Accurate know.
The man with the voice. We have the men. We have the men on Ghana Agenda, of course. All right. Thank you so much for that spirited contribution there. I'm gonna let Ato come in because Ato might have similar ideas as you. So if he's not able to properly rebut, then I'll bring you in, Kojo. So Ato.
My friend, I take serious exception to what you said right now. Because you told me I may.
You have similar ideas.
No. You're just preempting what I'm going to say, which is very unfair to you, my brother.
Okay. Our neutral. Let's our neutral kind of.
He's not neutral. He's not neutral. You see, you told him when he's not able to bash me. You see what he said? That's why I said he's not neutral.
No, I think to that because Alfred, you don't know what I'm going to say.
But he's more neutral but MPP leaning. But I don't think he's actually.
You cannot say that because if you say that, I'm going to say something similar to what my brother and good friend say. No, I would not take that.
Okay. All right. I withdraw that.
Yes, but
you're my neutral. So I want you to separate the two political parties. Yes, Lifetime.
I met Dr. Tu in what do you call it? Chicago.
Correct.
And let me say, Dr. Tu is neutral.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that.
All right. Thanks for that.
I know there are two people who will not see that on this platform. And this will be sadly the host, and then Saul the social. So he's not a Paul, he's a Saul. I have said that he's not a Paul. Paul don't behave that way. Pauls are the ones who have changed. They don't attack people behind the platform, on the platform, and everywhere talking about. No, it doesn't happen that way. But
right.
If anybody, you are my friend. I never attack you. You are my friend. I've never attacked you.
Not just me. You constantly have been saying that. Oh, I'm not neutral, but I mean, if you say you're Paul, I can say you're Saul. What about that?
Don't worry about that. That's all I want to say.
On a more serious note, right. I mean, whoever is over here saying that COVID or Russia and Ukraine war has not affected economies doesn't really know what we're talking about.
Right.
And there's a popular saying by Chino Achebe. He says, the sun will shine on those who stand before it shines on those who kneel under them. Currently, even the US, the sun is not shining on them. So we are nearly under them. So how would the sun shine on us? But the difference, I mean, right now we have the US has recorded negative 2 consecutive GDP growth. And some people term that to be recession. So
that's correct.
I'm sorry?
I said that's correct. But you know, what follows it would have been a negative job growth as well, or shrinkage in job growth.
I was going to say that, but
yeah, go ahead.
That is a true statement. That the US recorded two consecutive negative GDP growth.
Correct.
So if anybody here is saying that COVID and the pandemic, the Russian-Ukraine effect on any economy in this world, the person has no idea what he's talking about. I think the problem we have in Ghana is we have overspent. I mean, the issue may have been worse, but right now, because we are overspent, we don't have the money to do any activity in Ghana.
Right.
That is the fundamentals of everything that's going on in Ghana. You cannot just say, "Oh, you're using COVID." Yeah, of course, the COVID, but how did the government manage the money they borrowed? We are overspent, and I don't think it's just about the finance minister. It's the buck stops with the president. The buck stops with the president. It is his budget. It is his finance minister. If he feels that he is not doing well, let him fire him. But you can't overspend and come back and tell me that, Russian-Ukraine war, the pandemic. It is true that it affected all economies in the world. But like I said, the main issue in Ghana is that we have overspent. And it's sad that but the Baumias, the Akufo-Addo saying they have the men, are unable to find the men who would actually do what is right.
I mean, when the men are chopping, they're enjoying.
Yes. So, like I'm saying, the main issue is that Russia and Ukraine war exists, and it has an impact on all economies in the world, including Ghana. But our situation right now is worse just because we have overspent. The US, right, like like you said, the US has negative GDP growth, but the unemployment rate is rising. What about Ghana?
Right.
What about Ghana? So it's sad that this president seems very aloof. Like you would, like I said, you wouldn't think he's the Nana Addo that people touted. Oh, he's a lawyer. He's very strict. Nana Addo has not even tried to shake up his government. I mean, it's not working. If it's not working, you change it. But you're keeping the status quo right now, and people will think, oh no, Nana, it's not going well, and it looks bad on Bawumia in the sense that he was started as the economic desire. And now your boss is unable to do this. You are the head of the economic management team. You're also unable to do this. So you're gonna come back and tell us, hey, in 2 years that you do better. What would you do better? What else would you do better? Or you're gonna tell us, oh, if someone does A, B, or C, I'm gonna fire the person. You're not gonna overspend. So it paints a very difficult picture for the NPP, and it increases someone like the Japan's chances. Because people think he is straightforward. I believe he doesn't have the temperament to be a president. But then right now, the way things are going, we need somebody who will be able to fire people and cause people to go to jail, prosecute them. I've told you, Alfred, remember I did that office of the special prosecutor. He won't do anything. He would just be in office, taking money, having offices. You're just gonna spend our money. This government should come up with ideas. Should fire people who. It's, you know what? Why do we wait till now to fire Adwasafo? In which republic or serious republic would you see a minister being paid whilst she's enjoying on TikTok? Where does this happen? Only in Africa. You have this as an MP, and I blame Babin too. Babin is just sitting aloof, doing nothing about this. And the NDC are happy because they know that they won't.
Well, you can fire her as an MP, especially if she has authorization to actually embark on the travel, right? Because I think she's doing it for family reasons.
On the travel for how many months now?
Yeah, but you know, of course, she has
permission. But then the common teacher cannot do that.
What I'm saying
cannot do that.
See, what is an MP? An MP is just representing her people, right? Her constituency, right?
Yes.
But she actually has an executive portfolio, a ministry that she needs to run.
But
we are talking about
people who would enjoy S. Gracia at the end of 4 years. So
yeah, but although she may not be representing her people at the time that she was on travel for family emergency, whatever you call it, the executive portfolio was also put in sort of a hibernation. I mean, was somebody
exactly? So I'm saying that the back on for the president, but I'm saying that in Parliament, Babin should have done something about this. It is not.
What can Bagmin do about it? There's no law empowering Bagmin to. The Privileges Committee have to refer her to the plenary. That's what do you mean? That she's no longer capable of playing her role.
So you're saying Babin has no control over members who have sent or tardy, nothing about that?
When they have a permission, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
Permission for
no permission.
She has a permission for family emergency. She went for her baby's whatever.
So,
her baby was not well.
Are you supporting this idea of an MP, a member of the cabinet, going outside the country using family? I mean, I have not seen this anywhere.
No, I'm supporting the idea that we can't just say the Speaker of Parliament should exercise powers he doesn't have. He doesn't have the power.
No, he has the powers. He has powers.
There's no way in the Constitution or the standing
put Parliament in order. He has powers. So
listen.
All right.
Has the power in our own Ghanaian as a member of Parliament. If you vacate for 15 days without any permission, your seat should be pronounced vacant. So
she has permission. She has permission.
Why? So why?
From who? Permission from who?
She has permission from the Speaker. Yeah.
Exactly. So he's capable.
But we are saying that if anything, even if she doesn't have a permission, right? It's not up to the Speaker to do anything. It's the Privileges Committee They have a committee in Parliament that oversees this stuff. Oh yeah.
If you're saying yes, permission from the speaker. The speaker is culpable. You can permit someone.
No. Check the standing orders. It has to go through privileges committee. The committee has to then make a recommendation to the speaker. The speaker doesn't initiate anything on the floor himself. The speaker, remember, is not elected. It's just a supervisor over this thing.
Yes, but he's not. But he's able to give permission to people, right?
Yeah, the permission even he works through the system and comes to he approves it. Yeah.
Exactly, but I mean, which speaker in the world would allow a member of parliament that much time?
Me and you don't know necessarily the details of.
This is the lady who's on TikTok dancing. What are you talking about, Alfred?
I mean, if your son is if your son is sick and you have to for him, does that preclude you from dancing on TikTok?
The optics. Oh, right. Okay. Really? The optics is sent bad signals.
Yeah, but again, there's nothing in our standing orders that say the optics should be prosecuted or the optics. So let's I just want to make sure we situate it, you know.
Yeah. You see the hypocrisy from Dr. Joe and Kojo DC. They are talking about Adwoa Safo and that Bagbe, blah blah blah. What are you talking?
No, please. This is my time. This is my time. This is my time. No. I'm not gonna permit you to speak on my time.
Okay, Paul, hold it on. Let him come. Let him finish and I'll bring you back.
No, please. This is my time. If you allow.
Okay, finish.
I said the backstop was the president.
Right.
I'm saying that president should have fired her a long time ago. I'm also blaming the Speaker of Parliament because she's a member of Parliament. I blame the president because she is part of cabinet, and you cannot just allow somebody to vacate a seat and the pretense of family issues. But that's what I'm saying. If anybody disagrees with me, that's fine. But this is what I'm saying. That the backstop president should have fired just a long time ago. Babin is Speaker of Parliament. And he should have done something about this situation. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Understood. All right. Okay, Paul, you're gonna rebut that briefly. So
the president, the super incompetent president, could not do anything about his minister of state, who's in charge of gender and children affairs for over almost 1.5 to 2 years. And Dr. Joe is sitting here telling me that Bagbe should have acted.
Well, I think you're saying that Bagbe, because she's a parliamentarian, Bagbe also have some jurisdiction over.
Bagbe has no jurisdiction over her. Let's understand the laws and the principle. The standing order says that if you have sent yourself from parliament for 15 consecutive times without permission, then you should be referred to the privilege committee. For now, there are letters that we've seen which shows that this lady has asked permission from her leadership.
Right.
From her leadership. That's what I'm talking about. From her leadership. From the MP leadership.
Okay. That's fine. Let me bring Lifetime Legacy, your submission on this, and then bring the program to an end. So give me your submission on this and also give me your last word in addition so that we can start closing down.
Okay, thank you, Alfred.
Yes, sir.
I think to start with the Adwoa Safo issue, the MPP have suddenly developed enemy to a lady who have.
We are really not discussing Adwoa Safo though. The issue we are discussing is the fact that the government is unable to manage the economy out of the type of troubles we are currently facing, and the claim is that they have the men. Is it because the men are not united and therefore they're not giving their brain, according to what the famous pastor said, or it is just that the men are incompetent? Which is which?
So, to conclude on the Adwoa Safo issue, I think, like I was saying, the woman that gave the MPP the biggest vote during the 2020, they will now find a way of developing hatred for her because of perceived to be one of the people who voted for Bagbe and also did not allow the famous e-levy to pass. So they have suddenly won the woman out at all costs. We are assuring them that we will do everything that it takes for the woman to stay in parliament.
Why don't you switch to NDC then?
Let me go back to the main issue. Alfred,
right?
You see, like my other brothers have said, there is no way any rational being will sit somewhere and say that COVID hasn't impacted on our economy and also the global economy. To use my personal as an example, yes, my financial status was affected by COVID. So if government who have much bigger responsibility to citizens, there were no back and forth or flow of raw material from one country to another and resources, definitely it's likely to affect your level of income. That one is true.
Thank you, Lifetime Legacy. You have to join MPP. You have to leave this NDC. You are the only one saying it. Thank you.
I hear you. But then to our situation in Ghana, rather came to us as a blessing. Okay, because when you check the history of Ghana, there hasn't been any situation or a problem where IMF and World Bank would dole out money just like that, amounting to 25 billion, without nothing to show off. You get it? So to us, it was a blessing. Alfred, all of us on this platform benefited from COVID stimulus package. You did.
Right.
At least I got about 1,000, 2,000, I think on 2 or 3 occasions. I think the last one was 600. So we all benefited some money. But was that the situation in our country? The answer is no. You see, you were telling my brother Kojo that COVID affected America more than Ghana. It is true. How many people died through COVID? He was asking us to use the statistics. Yes, I agree. Look at the number of people who died in the US. Strike average per the population of Ghana. You notice that we were not impacted. You get it? So
because of the prudence of how the president managed it. And then that sitting president was very incompetent. I'm not talking about Biden. I was talking about the previous president before Biden came into office.
The COVID in Ghana turned out to be a foul cow where the government was milking. They were milking it from the people who are traveling back to their home by collecting $150 from them. I pay $150 even going my own home. You get it? They were, some were even turning, who were trying to procure a vaccine, had to double the price. So they were milking the nation on the back of COVID. Now here we are. And they want to blame COVID for what? COVID in Ghana for me was a blessing than a curse, because we've gotten so much and there was nothing to show off. You get it? Now, Alfred, let's even, what are the things do Ghanaians import from Ukraine? Tell me, what do we import from Ukraine? What do we import from Russia? You see, so the government should stop hiding behind Russia and Ukraine. If we are talking about a country that is being affected, look at the economic ranking, the countries that are likely to default in their loan. Look at the ranking. Even the Ukraine, who is affected in the war. Look at the ranking. Look at where they are. Look at where we who are far away in Africa. Look at where we are. You get it? So the MPP will never blame themselves for any failure. They will not blame themselves for any. Have you ever heard them taking responsibility of something before? No. They will always find an excuse. The president will come and find an excuse. The incompetent vice president will also come and find an excuse. No wonder Ghana card is more important than 1,000 Italy. So they will do everything on COVID and Ukraine. The men that they have, instead of wearing trousers, are now wearing skirts. Incompetent.
Okay, so give us your last word, and then we would.
All right, let me just rebut a couple of things.
Let him give him. You hold your fire. Let him give his last word when you come. You can rebut in your last words and then conclude.
So, we give him the last word. I am for continual registration onto the voter register, but it should be done in a way that it will not disenfranchise our citizens. Let's go back and listen to the veteran electoral commissioner, Afarijan, that the suggestions are put on board and implement it. If the government decided that they will hide behind the electoral commission to do what they are doing, I can assure them they will do whatever they want to do. 2024, NDC will win. And when we win power, the electoral commissioner will continue to be in office. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a good way to end it off. We are guaranteeing that the NDC, when they come to power, they will keep the electoral commissioner in office. I doubt that, but well, that's your point. That's your view. We'll take it. All right. Thanks for those contributions.
They will continue to keep her in office in quotes.
All right. So let me bring in. Could you give us your rebuttal that you've been getting to, and then also your last words?
A couple of things. I know your time.
Yeah, we are past time, so
let's
wrap it up.
Yeah, I know. First of all, the incompetent is already into the NDC. You should find another word for it. We cannot. We gave it to you. It's a trademark. Just pick it up and just hold on to it. We know the incompetency. You are far beyond that, right? So when you are talking about the Ghana economy, right? Under the COVID-19, the monies that were spent, people were giving money like we had some money from here and the US, right? Like money, the electricity. Can you hear me, Amazon?
We cannot hear you, but now I can hear you. Go ahead. Okay,
thank you. There was there was free electricity that was given, free water that was given. Why was the electricity and water everything running? Because the government was paying for it.
False.
So
let him finish. Go ahead.
I'll take your wife from you. Be careful.
Stop saying that. Go ahead.
That's a joke. I'm sorry. He knows I'm joking. I'm just saying that. See, all those money that was spent, Amazon, we didn't have that money in our accounts in Ghana, right? We borrowed to make sure the Ghanaian people, like the president said, we know how to bring the economy back, but we don't know how to bring human beings back when somebody's passed, right? So the very good of our lives to make sure we protect lives and property. And I'm telling you, I know all of us here are over 40 or close to 40, right? In whatever year, have you seen a whole country airport shut down, a whole land border shut down, everything shut down for 2 years? Have you seen that before in our lifetime? No. So if you're saying that there's never been a time the IMF, the World Bank is giving money, it's because of the magnitude of the situation at hand. That is why the money was pouring. They weren't giving out. If you look at it, the World Bank has just, there's a report that just came. They've devoted almost $178 billion because of COVID-19 and the compounding of Russian war and Ukraine to be given to countries to support. As of now, over 50-something billion has already been given to countries. Let me land with this. My brother, Paul and Lifetime is saying, we say all sorts of things, Dr. Bawumia said of them. At least we gave the Ghanaian people a hope. What is the alternative that the NDC is having? None. You don't have anything to offer. You don't have any solution of what we have. We have our policy. What we're doing. Can the NDC at least say and propose something so we can hold them responsible on a likely that government so that we can say, hey, this going to do? They have nothing. Everybody can lament and criticize, but what are the solutions? I always say this, and I'm paraphrasing. Barack Obama said this when the people were, the Republicans were saying, "Well, cancel Obamacare," was so cancel. Say, hey, it's easy to cancel something, but I'll be the first person to admit if you have any alternative solution to Obamacare, I'll go for that. And to date, they voted 60 times in the U.S. Senate. Up to date, have you heard anything from the Republicans talking about healthcare for American people? It's the same, the NDC. You are good in opposition, lamenting, criticizing. Everybody can do that. Same line, that's it. Bring new ideas, and then we can hold you responsible in unlikely event that.
But they're telling you that they gave you the idea that, in fact, something like
what?
Voter registration should not be done until we are able to exhaust the Ghana car registrations. And you said no. That was a good idea.
They are talking about business, and you are talking about 2020.
And you turn around to come to 2022 to say, oh, by the way, we need a Ghana card in order to do, incremental registration. So basically, you can't fault these same people for giving you good ideas, right?
They don't have no ideas. They are lack of ideas. What kind of ideas?
They told you not to embark on free SHS, but do it progressively. You said no.
And then they
say, you want to do it immediately.
Listen, hold on.
And right now, I went to secondary schools when I was in Ghana to actually teach in one of the schools. Why? The kids that are taking their exam in this August, they came to school in 2019. Less than a year after they came to school, COVID hit. They were sent home for almost close to a year. When they came back from home, those kids were promoted to SS2. Now they are in SS3. Teachers are on strike. When I was in Ghana, the kids were just roaming about on campus, doing nothing because it just went out there. I asked them to look at the accounting syllabus to see where they are. They haven't even gone halfway through the syllabus, but they are having exams as we speak. So that is the kind of problem we have created. I mean, this is a generation of young men who we expect to take over from us, and we are miseducating them. We are not educating them at all.
Hold on. So you're blaming the president, you're blaming the Minister of Education for a teacher that is your job to be teaching the kids and you're being paid every month.
I'm blaming them that you had kids sent home for 1 year, and when they came back, you just promoted them to
based on what? Based on a situation of COVID, right? That was COVID.
So
right?
repeat them. You don't promote them.
How do you do that? Hey,
ask Kufuor. When Kufuor came, right? He decided that he was making 4 years. Exactly.
Yeah, so you want us to change it? We have to go back to Parliament to change it.
I mean, you have a whole year of students that could not go to school, and so when they came back, they have to repeat those courses. They have to repeat the time because otherwise, here they are. They haven't finished.
Who brought it back to 3 years?
That's the point. That's the point. I don't know, Amuzu. I don't know why.
Yeah, but we all know the 4 years was completely unnecessary. But we're saying that.
Christ. See, let me just land. So my boss is in. So let me just land. Then he can finalize it.
Yeah, but no, you are saying some things like they should give you advice, but it seems you are dead in your head. Like whatever advice the government give you are tone deaf.
You
don't listen to the government. Doesn't listen to anybody. How can you who don't listen say you don't get advice? They give you the advice, you wouldn't listen to it. Then you turn around and say, bring ideas. I mean, are you the arbiter of what ideas are good or not? So I think we should recognize some of these things as we say them, that it's not like the opposition is not giving you ideas. Opposition is giving you plenty of ideas. You don't listen. You do not listen. They told you, for instance, even me on this show, I was arguing with your boy, what is his name? Ampasa, that where the central bank was holding our interest rates was completely wrong. They should increase it. That 14.5% that we've had for almost 2 years was political. because the economic fundamentals doesn't reflect that. We should have increased our, otherwise we wouldn't be dealing with an inflation of 30% right now. But guess what? So many people said what I'm saying here. The Bank of Ghana governor didn't listen. They didn't listen. So you can't say people don't give you ideas. They give you plenty. I'm going to stop ranting. Go ahead.
As Kojo DC finished, so that I can.
Kojo DC, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So let me bring in Ato. Ato, since we are having trouble with Kojo, I think Ato is frozen as well.
It's my turn.
Let's blame Paul for that. Paul is using his technological know-how to do that.
These people, right? Okay, Kakape, welcome to the show. I know you had fallen. You have.
I don't know. My network is.
Oh.
But if you can hear me,
Thank you very much.
Today, because you're in a political suit, it's like your attitude changed. Now I don't know if I can call you NDC host or something like that.
Oh my God! Be careful where you're trading now.
We have to be serious as a country.
Yeah. So you have the floor. You have the floor, Ato. Give us your last words. Yeah, give us your last word, Ato.
Yes. Thank you very much for the opportunity to come over and do this with my co-panelists. I know my friend Paul or Saul would always come with the mischief. But as a country, we must be serious. We cannot just be going anyhow and expect that things will be okay. Like I said, you don't have to import maize or wheat from Russia to endure the wrath of this Russian-Ukraine war. That's why I'm surprised.
It makes no
brother,
sense. Yeah.
No, you don't have to import rice or maize from
it makes no sense that we do. We have land over land, arable that can do all this. All the boys are in Accra. They are not there in the farms. Actually, they don't see the millions that are laying down there in opportunities, So yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. But you see, we cannot just be farming by cutlass and expect that we'll be able to feed the whole Ghana. It doesn't happen. But if you drive across the length and breadth of the US, you see how people plant even corn, maize. I think that having the cutlass and I mean, we have the hiring 3 people to just plant maize, to be able to feed the whole country. We are in the 21st century. We have to come up with ideas to do this. COVID, the pandemic, Russia-Ukraine war has really affected, including Ghana. But listen to Osla, and Osla was referring back to Atifa. It's like they were not in sync with whatever they're doing. The government should take its time to implement these ideas that would help us. I hope everybody will do well in this.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ato, and thanks for the time. Okay, so let me bring Mr. Kakape on. Kakape, I know you've not been part of the show from the beginning, but we discussed two things, of course.
Alfred, can I finish with my confession? Alfred, can I finish with my closing remarks?
I wanted you last. I wanted you to hear from Kakape so you can rebut if you have to.
Exactly. Okay. If I do propaganda.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yes, Kakape can be tough on you. So, Kakape, you want to show your face so we can see all the beautiful things happening behind you. But also, if you can, if you can give us your thoughts on this voter registration thing and the fact that, we are still stuck in this economic quagmire that we've dug ourselves into, or we've plunged ourselves into, and kind of use this Russia war as an excuse. I'm saying so because I believe the United States has more exposure to the Ukraine-Russia war than we are, but the US here it's actually producing some amazing numbers when it comes to employment, which is a good indicator of whether we actually in a recession or not. But Ghana is not able to do so. And this is where we actually have the man in charge. So my question to you, or the discussion we've had so far, has been, why can we deliberately manage ourselves out of this problem?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to thank my my other panelists for, I know they've done a good job. You know, Paul, how you doing? I wanted to come and hear your voice. It's been a long time. Atu and Kojo DC, we've always, yeah. I don't want to introduce. I'm not going to be political. I'm just going to go straight to the point. You see, when you are faced with a situation like this, the pandemic and all that, and it hits you the way it hits a lot of other economies, it tells you the level of, shocks that you have internally to absorb some of these things, So, when you check the United States, they have the manufacturing and all that kind of stuff, the supply chain was affected, but after the pandemic, they will quickly be able to put certain things in place, their budget and the ability for them to lay hands on money and get these things going is, already in place. We don't have them. We rely on mostly agric and a little bit of construction and the manufacturing sector, which also needs a lot of help to be able to do things that are not readily available. As we speak, the government is in talks with the IMF to get some, financial assistance to be able to do certain things. So, some of these things will definitely affect, employment and, job creation and stuff like that. But gradually, we're going to do our best and make sure that as a government, as a country, we push ourselves towards where we want to be. I mean, we will just call on the government to do more under the circumstances to help us. So that is what I will say on that. Now, when it comes to the elections and what the EC is saying, these are all policy directions and constitutional issues. I believe that where the Ghana card that are coming to come in.
I think you're having a sound problem.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look at the process of getting people onto the card, there is a place where people have to guarantee and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you come to this part too, where it is a completely also different than where we are identifying all Ghanaians in the country, whether they are voting age or not. And if we've been able to do that, then it makes sense and it helps that, we do that linkage. NDC knows that it's just a matter of time. The Ghana card will be linked to the voter register. But, having said that, and whatever concerns they have, they should bring it on board and then, we take it up from there. Sometimes when the argument is made that somebody will be disenfranchised, we made this argument when we're doing the new voters register, but afterwards and all these, we wouldn't do this, blah, blah, blah. We didn't see all these reasons manifesting themselves when we were voting. So let's trust our system. I know sometimes there are trust issues and all that, but we have enough layers. We have enough security layers within the electoral architecture to be able to absorb all these concerns that are coming. So, since whenever, about, we basically have two parties. More not head unless head will be disenfranchised. It's too big, you throw it out there. What would disenfranchise them? Now, I don't want to believe that if somebody is of a voting age and hasn't gotten the Ghana card, that person won't be given the opportunity to vote. No, I don't think that is what it means. But So long as you have it, use it and come and get on board, and then we go, and then gradually, we take it out from there, and all that. But legal issues, constitutional issues, unless you raise anything in connection with that, it is good. It is going to help us and let us all. I'm sure they're resisting it because it's gradually pushing government out. We've been able to this Ghana in such a way that virtually, the Ghanaian of the Ghanaians. And we don't have a choice that we come out with great policies and they are able to help the good people of Ghana. Let's add on to it and then we take it out from there. I think this is all that I'm going to say. And I thank you for the opportunity to also come in last minute and say, thank you very much. And then my last word would be that, I'm grateful that, even though I wasn't part of it initially, we've had, great panelists come on board to, give us great submissions and great explanations as far as the political development of the country is concerned. Let us always continue to come and make Ghana agenda the best that there is out there. Host Alfred, God bless you and always keep you safe and keep you healthy that you can come bring great ideas and great topics for us to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fa, for those kind words and your contribution. We really appreciate it. So let me now go to my final last words, which will be from Paul Disoso. So Paul, what are your final words?
I have to help Paul too, because he did that too. It's nice that you are wearing the political suit today. You look really awesome today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I'll give you the opportunity to hack up Paul.
You see, two things, and I'm not going to talk much. Two things.
All right.
As we speak, it's a fact that in Dr. Atul's finance minister's website, it has been stated that the COVID revenue that the government got is 25 billion Ghana cedi.
Correct.
As we speak, the president has quoted 17 billion. The finance minister has quoted 12 billion. And then the vice president has quoted 9 billion, which is right. Let's assume we take the president's figure, 17 billion. There is still a deficit of over 7-8 billion. So for Brother Kojo DC to be saying that they spend a lot of money on this, it's not true. There's money that has not been accounted for. And based on that, they cannot claim and say that
those people mentioning the name, when was those money spent? What was the timelines? Did they all say in one day or in different times?
What was your question?
Okay, let's say the finance minister who spoke just a month ago. The finance minister just spoke a month ago and he said, so far you guys have spent 12, is it 12 or 14 billion?
12 billion.
Them, I stand to be corrected. 12 billion.
12 billion, so, yeah.
Just a month ago, that's what the finance minister presented to the Parliament House of Ghana. So, my brother Kojo DC, I am asking, there's a deficit. So let's go with the fight.
Amuzu, let's clarify this. It is the amount that was received was 25 billion, right?
Correct.
12 billion was spent on COVID related programs. 8 billion was used to support the government revenue. Just bear in mind. And there are still expenses that are being going on. Read the budget well, please. NDC, read the budget well.
Kojo DC has shown another
8 billion in there. Well,
I don't want to use the word lie. He said I should not say he lied. So I will not say he lied. But I will say he has misinformed us again. I am saying as we speak, the finance minister has not been able to tell us what the rest of the money has been used for. So that is the case. My point number 2 is that the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the mother of Sempet, has lied to the good people of Ghana. Mr. Musu, my brother Ifa and Kojo DC, you remember, Doctor, that Nana Addo stood on a political platform prior to the Ayawaso by-election and told the whole world that God has given the whole world wisdom to Dr. Bawumia. Fact. How come the person that God has given the whole world wisdom cannot even manage a small economy like Ghana, made up of 31 million people? This should tell the sort of people we have in power. We have the men If we are saying Dr. Bawumia so I don't know what is going to happen next. All I want to say in conclusion is that my brother Ifa is suffering. I am suffering. Everybody is suffering. They should put their ego aside and come to the table and seek for help, because Ghana is sinking under their watch, which is not good for the good people of Ghana. Upon this note, I will say good afternoon to Kojo DC, Dr. Ato, Ifa, and you yourself, and the Legacy, and other people who are watching. I hope we'll meet next week. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right.
Say this last word, okay? Kojo is suffering, Paul is suffering. These are all Dr. Bawumia's terms. Can you guys organize something on your own instead of repeating everything Dr. Bawumia does?
All right. So let's draw the curtains on today's program. Again, my name is Alfred Abuzu, and today I've been joined by Paul Disosu of NDC, Massachusetts NDC. Kojo DC was the organizing secretary of NDC, Washington, DC Metro. Kakape, which is Efa Ameyao, the Deputy Communications Chairperson of NDC, MPP. Lifetime Legacy, a member of NDC, and my one and only neutral, Dr. Ato Kwamina Danso. Thank you all for joining the show today. It has been great. Those two topics, I think we've done justice to them, and I entreat you to join us again next week for another interesting conversation. Again, my name is Alfred Amuzu, and this is the Ghana Agenda. Please, if it's the first time you're watching the show, share the link so that you and your loved ones can participate in our conversation. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid health insurance program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.